fires. Another blaze broke out today. 2 helicopters have been deployed now to help contain a vegetation fire in Sir Lowry's Pass in the Helderberg area. Fires in Simonsberg this week have also damaged hectares of orchards and vineyards outside Stellenbosch, with farmers there suffering massive losses. 2 Air Force helicopters have been deployed now to waterbomb a raging fire on the slopes of the Simonsberg near Stellenbosch in the Boerland. Fire officials say the blaze, which has been raging since Tuesday, has already destroyed vineyards and a pine tree plantation. They are calling for assistance of the Air Force to bring this blaze under control. Well, farm owners have suffered serious losses after the Simonsberg fire damaged orchards and vineyards outside Stellenbosch. The fire, burning since Tuesday, has spread across 90 kilometers from the Idis Valley to Paarl, threatening farms on the foothills of the mountain. Well, Giles Webb is the owner of the Telima vineyard, one of the major wine farms affected by this fire, and he's on the line from the Cape now. Good afternoon, Giles, and thank you for your time on the SABC News Desk.
You're welcome, Kirsty.
It must have been a long haul for you these past few days, Giles. Has the blaze now been brought under control, and what's the extent of damage on your farm?
The blaze on our property is now under control, but there are still fires on the rest of the Simonsberg. But we have 21 hectares of vineyard planted on the foothills and slopes of Simonsberg, and all of these vineyards have been affected in one way or another. We expect that many of these vines will die, which means that they need to be replaced. If we have a dead vine here and there, it's not a major issue, but I suspect that at least 4 hectares of our vineyards will need to be replanted completely. And the financial implications is significant. It costs about 200 to 250,000 rands per hectare to replant, and then we would have to wait about 6 years from now until we get another crop. So it's serious. And then another aspect of the damage is that we are losing crop. If you have a scorched vine, it won't be able to ripen the fruits because the leaves don't work anymore, and we'd have to remove these damaged bunches and try to revive the vines and hope they don't die. And then the other problem is that the grapes that are exposed to the smoke from bushfires can result in wine that has a very nasty aroma reminiscent of an ashtray, which is certainly unacceptable.
Giles, subsequent flare-ups with these fires are commonplace. How are you coping with that, and do you have adequate support at this point?
Yes, well, there are little on our property there's not much to flare up because nearly everything's been burnt, but where there is still vegetation that hasn't been burnt, we just keep an eye on it, and we have standby teams at night, and we all have spray carts, and the neighbours are quite incredibly generous. We had on Tuesday night, when it was really bad, we had several of our neighbours pitching in, doing sterling work until 3 o'clock in the morning. It was quite extraordinary.
Thank you, Giles. That was Giles Webb. He's the owner of Telima Vineyard, one of the farms affected by the fire that's now been brought under control, we're hearing.